the pyramid model and all of the resources that they provide just provide so much as far as resources and strategies for us for promoting positive behavior with our children. So that's what I base my theories on, just things that I've learned, and also personal experience, things that have worked in the past and are often going to work in the future. Not that every child is cookie cutter, because they're all different. But, you know, visual schedules and those visual pieces are just huge for all children. And that's something I really appreciated about the pyramid model. And things that I have always said are not just for children with special needs. The function of behavior. And every behavior serves a function, and finding out what that function is our job. So that can happen through gathering a lot of information from a lot of different sources. But behavior is communication. It's telling us that there is a deep-seated need, and the child is only finding one way to express that, and that is through their behavior. And so understanding that need and then finding ways for them to express and have that need quenched in a different way is how we're going to be successful, and how we're going to help this child be successful and learn replacement behaviors. As I said earlier, behavior that has perpetuated is going to be the really hard ones that we have to help children extinguish and overcome. Behavior can be a form of a lack of communication. Children that are minimally verbal will often tantrum just because they're frustrated. They can't express their needs or their wants adequately. And so I use a lot of visual supports, sign language, a lot of different gestures and things to help them communicate. Emotional charts where they can point to how they're feeling, if they're ill, if they're angry, if they're frustrated, if they're happy. They can let us know how they're feeling that day, and helping them express and embrace their emotions too is very important. Behavior can be an escape from an activity that the child just doesn't want to do, doesn't want to participate in, and finding ways for them to participate on a level that is maybe more appropriate for them is a way that we can help them do a better job with that. I'm going way over 5 minutes here. Some of the strategies for environments that I use are soft music, pleasant smells. We use a lot of lavender in our classroom. Soft lighting. An environment that's visually organized is huge for children. And communicating the expectations and the rules clearly, and also with a lot of visual support and a lot of repetition. And also reinforcing the schedules throughout the day visually, I think, is something I really got out of the pyramid model. It's something we're not doing right now, and I really want to begin doing that next year, because that's huge for our children. Also, warnings prior to transition. We use the responsive classrooms, so we give verbal warnings, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute. And then we have a bell that we ring, and we say, stop. We have the kids put their hands on their head, look, and listen. And all the children have to do that. And then we make sure they're making eye contact with us as well, very important. And then we give the instructions for what's going to happen next. You know, it's time to clean up, and then we're going to, so that they have that. And I think next year with the visual piece, we're going to clean up, and then we're going to get ready to go to music or to the playground or whatever it is. Activities that promote engagement. Tucker the Turtle, I loved it. And I plan to use that. I plan to actually get the little finger puppets and have the children model that. That was amazing. Just having that, you know, stop and think piece. The older children, we use a stop and think. For these little guys, I think Tucker the Turtle and just modeling that is an amazing way to get them to stop. Count to 3. process that. Then when we have the words, or we have a way to communicate what you're feeling, then talk about it. Then talk about a possible solution. I just love that. Peer modeling, as far as sharing, turn taking, all of that. I love the puppets that look like little children. And one of my colleagues gave me a really great tip about, making sure that that puppet's real to them. So make sure that you hide it and have a home for it to go to when you put it away, because it's actually very real to these children, and they can relate very, very closely to it. How I use descriptive acknowledgement, that's something that we do as part of Responsive Classroom as well. And that's just explicit. Not just saying, good job, but saying, you did a great job putting those toys away today. Thank you for being so helpful. Wow, you gave your friend that toy when they asked for it. What a great job you just did sharing and being a good friend. That was helpful. And just being really explicit. It doesn't even have to be that long, but just really acknowledging that, modeling that to your colleagues, to the parents, and, explaining to them how that is really impacting the development of their brain and their self-talk and their neural pathways, as well as ours. When we use positive language, it affects us emotionally as well, and puts us all in a better place. And then my personal work and how it relates to the structure and the environment, the design of our environment. Our classroom is really well organized. My co-teacher she says she wants to be a personal organizer when she retires. She is a personal organizer. Everything is so visually pleasing. It's very, very child friendly, but it's so visually pleasing and organized. And that is just huge. There's a good balance of quiet areas and active centers that are available to the children. There are no large open areas, because those definitely encourage poor behaviors. And so gross motor, because we're in a public preschool, is really reserved for the gym and for our playground environments, unless it's a rainy day, and then we kind of move the furniture in the classroom, put an activity up on the smart board, and do some gross motor. But while we're in the school environment, we just don't have enough room with that many children to be doing a lot of gross motor. Warnings before transitions, again, is one of the structures that we use. A bell for the stop, look, and listen, explicit instruction. And then one of the things that we did differently this school year, which I fully intend to do next school year, is we gradually opened up our centers. So we had taken felt and Velcro and covered over some of the shelves in the classroom that had toys, our writing center, some of the materials that were in there, and we very gradually opened them up. And as we did, we explicitly taught what the materials were used for, how to care for the materials to make sure that they're in good condition to use the next day, and how to put the materials away, and actually modeling some potential uses for the materials, like having the marker, making sure it pops when you put the cap back on it, because if you don't, it's going to be dried out and it won't work the next time. So just modeling that. And it's very similar to the Montessori method of teaching, where really explicit instruction prior to self-discovery and self-instruction with some of the pieces in our classroom. So anyway, I've gone way over the 5 minutes. I hope this will all load up onto YouTube. And I just want you to know again, Jackie, I'm really, really enjoying all of what we're learning in this class. And I've been able to use a lot of it already. And thanks. Bye.